The Ethical Slut by Dossie Easton and Janet W. Hardy. Picture this: everything you've ever been told about love and relationships, it's just one possible story among thousands. From the time we're kids, we're fed this script: find your soulmate, settle down, build that perfect monogamous partnership, and boom, happiness forever. It's plastered across every rom-com, every love song, every fairy tale ending. But here's the thing. What if that script feels like it was written for someone else entirely? What if you look at your heart and realize it has room for more than one person? What if all those rules everyone seems to follow leave you feeling weirdly empty, like you're living someone else's life? For the longest time, feelings like these came wrapped in shame. They were secrets you buried deep. Then, in 1997, two brave writers named Dossie Easton and Janet W. Hardy dropped a bomb into the cultural conversation. They published a book with a title so provocative, so in your face, that people couldn't help but pay attention. They called it The Ethical Slut. That title alone was an act of rebellion, grabbing a word designed to humiliate and flipping it into something powerful, something worth celebrating. This book quietly started a revolution. Over 200,000 copies sold, and suddenly thousands of people had a roadmap for territory they thought was unmapped. It became the Bible for folks exploring polyamory and open relationships. But here's what makes this book truly special. You don't have to want multiple partners to find treasure in these pages. At its beating heart, The Ethical Slut is really a masterclass in emotional courage, honest communication, and truly knowing yourself. It's about building relationships, any relationships, on bedrock made of trust, consent, and fearless truth-telling. Today, we're diving deep into the wisdom of this remarkable book. By the time we're done, you'll have a completely fresh way of thinking about jealousy. Not as some monster hiding under the bed, but as a wise teacher. You'll discover tools for expressing your deepest needs with clarity and bravery. And perhaps most importantly, you'll encounter this beautiful idea that love isn't some limited resource you need to guard like a dragon hoarding gold. It's more like a spring that flows stronger the more you share it. This isn't just about changing your love life. It's about transforming how you see yourself. So let's tackle the elephant in the room. Who exactly is an ethical slut? Your brain might immediately conjure up stereotypes. Someone reckless, indiscriminate, maybe even a little dangerous. But Dossie Easton and Janet Hardy want you to hit the reset button on all that. They're on a mission to reclaim the word slut and transform it from an insult into a badge of honor. In their world, a slut is simply someone who believes sex is a positive, joyful part of being human, someone who thinks pleasure is actually healthy. Revolutionary, right? An ethical slut doesn't just have sex. They celebrate their sexuality. They see it as a bridge to intimacy, a way to build deep connections and make life richer. Now that word ethical is doing some heavy lifting here. It's the secret sauce that makes this whole philosophy actually work. Being ethical doesn't mean doing whatever feels good in the moment. It means operating from a core of deep respect for yourself and everyone you connect with. This ethic rests on three pillars: consent, honesty, and awareness of consequences. First up, consent. And we're not talking about some mumbled, yeah, okay. They define consent as an active collaboration for everyone's pleasure and well-being. If anyone's being manipulated, lied to, pressured, or ignored, it's not consensual. Non-consensual sex isn't ethical. Full stop. Second, honesty. This means getting real with yourself before you can be real with anyone else. It means digging deep to understand your own feelings, motivations, fears, and desires. Then it means sharing that truth with the people in your life, trusting they'll respect you for it. Third, recognizing that your choices ripple outward. You don't exist in a bubble. Your actions touch other people's lives, and an ethical person owns that reality, navigating the messy parts with integrity. So an ethical slut isn't careless at all. In fact, the authors argue they need to be more thoughtful, more conscious, with stronger boundaries than most people, precisely because they're juggling more connections. They share their love and sexuality the way a philanthropist shares their wealth, generously, believing it makes the world brighter. This brings us to one of the book's most transformative ideas, the difference between a starvation economy mindset and one of abundance. Most of us, whether we realize it or not, treat love like it's scarce. We've been taught that love, attention, and commitment are limited resources. There's only so much to go around. If your partner loves someone else, that must mean less love for you, right? This belief is the root of so much jealousy, possessiveness, and control. We grip tightly to what we have, terrified of losing it. But the authors challenge us to question this assumption. Is love really like a pie, where someone else's slice makes yours smaller? Or is it more like lighting candles? You can light 100 candles from one flame, and that first candle doesn't dim. Instead, the whole room gets brighter. They suggest our capacity for love isn't finite, it's potentially limitless. Having more loving connections doesn't drain you. It can actually energize you, exercising your love muscles and giving you even more to share. This is abundance thinking, the belief that there's enough love, enough connection for everyone. But letting go of that deep fear of scarcity, that's incredibly hard. It's like learning to fly on a trapeze. You have to release the bar you're gripping, trusting another one will swing into reach. So, what's the safety net in this daring act? The safety net is you. It's your own self-reliance, your own sense of worth, your ability to know you're complete all by yourself. Our culture sells us this myth that we're incomplete until we find our other half. The authors flip this on its head. The fundamental unit is one person. Adding others to your life can be wonderful, but they don't complete you. You complete yourself. When you build a satisfying relationship with yourself first, you have something invaluable to share with others. This shift unlocks everything else, but it forces us to face the biggest monster in the room: jealousy. Our culture treats jealousy as this inevitable, destructive force that's impossible to overcome. It's even romanticized sometimes. If you weren't jealous, you wouldn't really care. The authors believe this is one of the most toxic myths we live by. They propose something radical. Jealousy isn't an enemy to destroy, it's a teacher. Jealousy, they explain, isn't really one emotion. It's more like an umbrella covering a whole weather system of feelings: fear of abandonment, insecurity, envy, grief, rage, feeling inadequate, or the sting of being left out. When that wave crashes over you, it feels awful, and our instinct is to push it away, blame our partner, or control the situation to make it stop. But the authors encourage the opposite. Sit with the feeling, listen to it, ask it, what are you trying to tell me? Often, jealousy is pointing directly at the parts of ourselves that need healing most. Dossie shares that when she first explored this lifestyle, her jealousy showed up as crushing insecurity, a deep belief that she was unlovable. Instead of blaming her partner, she recognized this as her own work. She had to build her own foundation of self-worth, one that didn't depend on anyone else's validation. Her jealousy, painful as it was, guided her toward a breakthrough. So how do we actually work with jealousy instead of letting it run the show? The book offers a roadmap. First, own your feelings. Nobody makes you feel jealous. Your feelings are yours, generated inside you in response to something. This isn't about blame. It's about empowerment. If your feelings are someone else's fault, you're powerless. But if you own them, you have choices. You can explore them, learn from them, and decide how to respond. Second, commit to not acting destructively on your jealousy. You can feel rage without throwing things. You can feel fear without issuing ultimatums. This simple decision, to feel the emotion without letting it drive your behavior, is the first step to taking its power away. Third, practice self-soothing. When the wave hits, be kind to yourself. The authors call this poor babying yourself. Wrap up in a soft blanket. Make hot chocolate. Call a trusted friend just to listen. You're not trying to make the feeling vanish instantly. You're proving to yourself you can survive it. Finally, use it as a doorway to communication. Instead of, "You're making me jealous," try, "I'm feeling insecure about your date tonight. Can you reassure me?" This vulnerability, this honest sharing, builds unshakable trust. Nothing creates intimacy like shared vulnerability. Of course, this kind of radical honesty needs special tools. The book calls them slut skills, but really they're life skills for anyone wanting deeper, more authentic connections. The most crucial is communication, specifically using I messages. It's the difference between "you always ignore me" and "I feel lonely when we don't connect." The first is an attack that triggers defensiveness. The second is a feeling statement that invites empathy. Owning your feelings and expressing them clearly, without blame, is a superpower in any relationship. Another vital skill is boundary setting. To be an ethical slut, the authors say, you need excellent boundaries, clear, strong, and flexible. This means knowing your limits and saying no without guilt, and yes with genuine enthusiasm. A comfortable no is one of the kindest gifts you can give someone, because it makes your yes truly meaningful. They can trust that when you say yes, you genuinely mean it. But relationships aren't just about managing difficult stuff. They're about joy, connection, and pleasure. The authors redefine sex itself, moving away from goal-oriented acts, focused solely on orgasm. They see sex as a journey into an extraordinary state of consciousness, deep connection involving the entire body and all the senses. The most important sexual organ, they remind us, is the brain. They also champion self-love, quite literally. A satisfying relationship with yourself is the foundation for healthy relationships with others. Masturbation isn't a consolation prize or sign of loneliness. It's self-pleasure, a way to learn what your body loves so you can guide your partners. Sexually successful people, they note, masturbate. So with this philosophy and toolkit, how do people actually live this way? The book explores a spectrum of slut styles, because there's no one-size-fits-all model. Some people are single sluts, choosing to build lives rich with networks of friends and lovers without a primary partner. For them, the challenge is building deep intimacy and reliable support outside traditional couple structures. Many others are in open couples. They might have a primary relationship as their home base while having freedom to form other connections. This requires incredible communication and constant negotiation of agreements. And what are these agreements? This gets very personal. Agreements aren't rigid rules. They're conscious, flexible decisions designed to help everyone feel safe and respected. Some couples might agree to only have sex with others at parties. Others might want to meet and approve new partners. Some have don't ask, don't tell policies, though the authors caution this can create distance. Others practice full disclosure. The key is that these agreements are made together, they're realistic, and they can evolve as people grow and needs shift. The goal is always finding a win-win where everyone's feelings are honored. The book walks us through the incredibly challenging process of opening an existing relationship. It acknowledges the pain and confusion when one partner wants this and the other doesn't. It speaks compassionately to all 3 points of the triangle: the adventurous partner feeling guilty for causing pain, the outside lover often stigmatized and left without rights, and the partner who feels like the ground has disappeared beneath them. There are no easy answers, but the path forward is always through more communication, not less. It requires everyone to push just a little beyond their comfort zone, tiny step by tiny step, discovering a new way of being together. The authors also tackle real-world complexities, like raising children. They argue kids can thrive in extended family or tribe structures, surrounded by a village of loving adults. Honesty and good boundaries create security for children, they say, not a specific family structure. Ultimately, the book paints a picture of a slut utopia. This isn't a world without monogamy. It's a world where monogamy is a conscious, respected choice among many valid choices. It's a world free from binary either-or, thinking of right and wrong. It's a world where relationships aren't defined by ownership, but by trust, respect, and shared journey. It's a world built on abundance, where there's always enough love to go around, because love, when shared freely and ethically, only multiplies. It's a world where we're free to invent the society we want to live in, one relationship, one honest conversation at a time. As we wrap up our journey through the Ethical Slut, It's tempting to fixate on the provocative parts, the open relationships, the unconventional arrangements, that bold title. But that would be missing the profound, universal wisdom at its core. What Dossie Easton and Janet Hardy have created reaches far beyond a polyamory guide. It's a manual for becoming a more conscious, courageous, and loving human being. The principles they lay out: radical honesty, owning your feelings, clear communication, impeccable boundaries, these are the building blocks of any healthy, thriving relationship, whether with one person or 10. The book's greatest gift, I think, is its unflinching look at jealousy. It takes this powerful, frightening emotion that's destroyed countless relationships and gently reframes it. Instead of a monster to avoid at all costs, jealousy becomes a messenger from our deepest selves, pointing toward our insecurities, fears, and unhealed wounds. The idea that we can learn to sit with jealousy, listen to it, and use it as fuel for personal growth is genuinely revolutionary. It's a skill that brings peace not just to romantic lives, but anywhere we feel insecure or competitive. The other game-changing idea is shifting from a starvation economy to abundance thinking. We're so programmed to see love as zero-sum. This book gives us permission to believe in more. It suggests our hearts aren't small containers with limited capacity, but expansive spaces that grow with every connection we forge. This idea alone, if truly embraced, can heal so much of the fear and possessiveness that often masquerade as love. So how can you start applying these ideas in your own life, right now, regardless of your relationship style? First, try practicing the I message. Next time you feel hurt or angry with someone, pause. Instead of starting with, "You did," or "You made me feel," try starting with, "I feel." Notice how it shifts the conversation from blame to vulnerability. It's a small change that creates massive ripples. Second, start a conversation with yourself about your own starvation beliefs. Where in your life do you feel like there isn't enough to go around? Is it love, attention, success? Just becoming aware of that scarcity mindset is the first step toward choosing abundance. And third, next time jealousy strikes, get curious. Instead of pushing it away, ask yourself, what is this really about? Am I afraid of being abandoned? Am I feeling inadequate? Am I envious of something I want for myself? Don't judge the feeling. Just listen. You might be surprised by what your jealousy teaches you. That was a summary of The Ethical Slut by Dossie Easton and Janet W. Hardy. We've explored its main ideas today, but understand this. A map can only show you the territory. It can't give you the experience of the journey itself. The true power of this book lies in how its stories and exercises challenge you to examine your own life, beliefs, and heart. This summary is your invitation to decide if this is a journey you want to take. If any of the ideas we've discussed today, honesty, abundance, transforming jealousy, have sparked something in you, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning concepts. It's an experience that can fundamentally change how you connect with yourself and the people you love. You can find a link to the book in the description below. Also, if you found this summary valuable and it gave you a fresh perspective, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next deep dive into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Let's continue to learn and grow together.